So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Green morning, green afternoon, and green evening world over, wherever you are. In different continents world over, we extend you a very warm welcome to be part of yet another powerful evening, 7 to 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Today is 103, 103rd webinar. That's a Sunday, 16th of August 2020. Making education relevant. What is the purpose of education? Why to go to school? Why to go to college? Why to go to university? Why to take up skills? Why to do a particular program? All that, when it is being taken into consideration, skills and competencies, your vocationals, they play a very important role in your life. And ladies and gentlemen, most of us, when we talk about micro, small, and medium enterprise, which is the buzzword world over today during this pandemic, during this COVID-19. This is a very special program which we bring to you Sunday to Sunday under the dynamic and dedicated leadership of Shri Ravindra Nath ji, the former CMD of the NSIC under the aegis of Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise, where from he finished his wonderful career. So ladies and gentlemen, let's join this evening wherever you are world over. You are in Canada, you are in United States, you are in Latin America, you are in different parts of the world coming to lunchtime. We are in the Europe. If you have finished your lunch, wait for your evening tea and coffee. And in between, let's spend some time together and talk about this micro, small and medium enterprise. And from there I come to Central Asia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan. And when I come to South Asia, we have got Afghanistan, we have got Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives. And from there, I'm taking you to the Middle East. All my brothers and sisters, those join us from Doha, Qatar, those join from Oman, Dubai, Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, Kuwait. We extend you a very hearty welcome for coming for this particular program. Let's move from India a little far. That is when you cross northeast part of India, a long boundary, and you've got 10 beautiful countries with 650 million population, and that is called the ASEAN fastest growing network, more vibrant and dynamic than the European Union at this point of time. And Vietnam is the fastest growing economy in that region. Right, starting from Myanmar, coming to Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, Vietnam, all the countries, they are doing wonderful. So from there, I also take you to one more country where we have got a large flux and a confluence of Indians, non-resident Indians, Bahrain. So thank you very much for the people joining us from Bahrain. One of the school has got 14,000 kids over there. I'm so fortunate. The other day, the principal was there and he comes from southern part of India and he brought all of them together because the future is vocational. Future is skills. Future is competency. So micro, small and medium enterprise, when we talk about, ladies and gentlemen, today's subject and today's this particular deliberation, celebration and jubilation. Why do I say celebration? Because yesterday we celebrated 74th India's Independence Day. भारत के 74वें आपके स्वतंत्रता दिवस पर आप सभी भारतीय वासियों को जहां पर भी विदेशों में आप अलग अलग जगहों में हैं, हमारी तरफ से बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं, क्योंकि कुछ जगह आज सुबह हुई और अभी वहां दोपहर हुई, तो अलग अलग जगहों में अलग टाइम जोन में आप सबको हमारी बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं on the India's Independence Day. So ladies and gentlemen, our chamber, ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, since 1994 is rendering the service to get the confluence and the synergy and the networking of all the non-resident Indians world over in different continents, different countries. People join us from Mauritius and Seychelles also, and people join us from Africa also. The Honorable Minister for Health, that is in Kenya, Dr. Mishra, we extend you a very hearty welcome. At the same time, a lot of other people join us. So our chamber, International Chamber for Service Industry, 1994 started Punjabi Parvasi Divas. And from there onward, in 2003, then the Honorable Prime Minister of India, late Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, he started and he got the idea and the vision after our chamber made a presentation over there. And of course, we had the stakeholders and the confluence of Ministry of External Affairs, top government officials, also those were with us. We still recollect and recapitulate. And then the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, was a visionary. He said, when do you celebrate and when do you hold this function, Punjabi Parvasi Divas? And we very politely mentioned, sir, it is on 13th of January because that's a Punjabi's festival, Lohri. So he said, we will have Bharatiya Parvasi Divas, the confluence of all NRIs on 9th of January, because that was the day when Mahatma Gandhi ji returned from South Africa to India. So who could be a better NRI and more prominent NRI than the Mahatma? So with that, there was a birth of Bharatiya Parvasi Divas. And then today you have got vibrant Gujarat, vibrant Rajasthan, vibrant Tamil Nadu, vibrant Madhya Pradesh, vibrant Karnataka, vibrant Telangana. So slowly and gradually, everybody is turning vibrant because of these non-resident Indians. And now the events are taking place in India also, as well as overseas. Both are being taken into consideration. We focus totally on services sector, and it is a government, corporate, and the private sector with the non-resident Indians together. During this lockdown, the thought processes are affected, business is affected, physical and mental health is affected. Main part of the universe is the education is deeply affected. More than 1.6 billion youth at present are away from schools, colleges, institutions. They are not in a position, UNESCO's data which shows, but India always believes in Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. One world, one love, one family. Let us see what we can do for others, how we can reach out everybody world over. So with that as a vision, on 5th of June, on the World Environment Day, we started a journey making education relevant. Global confluence of educators, motivators, counselors, teachers, psychiatrists, technocrats, experts and industry together. जीवन का संचालन क्या है, जीवन के संचालन में कौशलता कैसे है, शिक्षा को प्रासंगिक कैसे बनाएं, इन सब चीजों के अंदर सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स टुगेदर फ्रॉम द वर्ल्ड गेटिंग टुगेदर इन वन पॉडलॉक and wonderful journey, because we started the journey on 5th of June on the World Environment Day, because all the inferences and all the information and the research which our chamber is getting from world over is there is going to be a big crisis on water scarcity in future. There is going to be lots of misunderstanding world over, and there are going to be clashes, and there's going to be lots of problem. So ladies and gentlemen, world over, and particularly when the children are with their parents at this point of time, may we make a humble request to all the parents, please teach your children how to save every drop of the water, because if water is saved, we all will be in a position to survive. जल ही जीवन है और जल संरक्षण बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है हम सब के लिए. Monday to Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. we discussed with you. So Saturday morning, 9:30, 500 million plus people from world over, that is the Buddhist confluence. What is Buddha's teaching? What did Buddha say? And what is the relevance of Buddha's teaching in today's education system? So under Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, the Secretary General of International Buddhist Confederation, we bring a very special program every Saturday when we have got the international speakers with us. They come from world over, and there's a confluence of all the Buddhists. And come Saturday evening, we are thankful to Ministry of Ayush, because with the advisor of Ministry of Ayush, we started the first program, and the journey is on. And every day we get lots of people, every Saturday, Ayurveda for the global wellness, yoga, meditation, naturopathy, nutrition, organic food. And at present you are with the laptop, you are with the mobile phone. So stretch yourself, stretch yourself, because if you do yoga, if you do pranayam, if you do meditation, you will live healthy. Otherwise, you will have lots of difficulties, lots of problems. Follow anybody, see more and more videos, and rotate your arms, rotate your neck, rotate your body, stay fit. That is something very important, because we are using a lot of gadgets. Come Sunday morning, this morning, every Sunday morning at 9:30, we get Professor Satvinder Singh from Woodbury University, Burbank, that is from California, United States, and he is talking about विद्या से अध्यात्म विद्या की ओर। हमने श्रीमद् भगवत गीता के 18 चैप्टर कंप्लीट किए, और आज हमने जो भारत के इतिहास के साथ जुड़े हुए उपनिषद हैं, उनमें से आज पहला उपनिषद हमने शुरुआत किया है। और उसकी आरंभ के साथ, उसके शुरुआत के साथ, क्योंकि जो नई एजुकेशन पॉलिसी आई है, वी वुड लाइक टू give our deepest regards and congratulations and wonderful thanks to Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, the Honorable Education Minister, and at the same time all other stakeholders, those are directly and indirectly, those are associated with education system। क्योंकि पहली बार ये होगा कि छठी क्लास से बच्चा कोडिंग सीखेगा, वोकेशनल आ रहा है, इंटर्नशिप आ रहा है, स्किल्स आ रहा है, कॉम्पिटेंसीज आ रहा है। और आज के वेबिनार की डायरेक्ट रेलेवेंस है, जब आप माइक्रो, स्मॉल और मीडियम एंटरप्राइज की बात करेंगे, तो इट हैज गॉट अ डायरेक्ट रेलेवेंस विद दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग। सो भारत के वेदों का, उपनिषद का हमारी एजुकेशन सिस्टम में, शिक्षा की प्रणाली में क्या योगदान है, और ये जो पूरा ब्रह्मांड जिस पर खड़ा है, क्योंकि जीरो भी भारत ने ही दिया, आर्यभट्ट ने सब चीजें बताई, और हरबिंद खुराना जी कब गए यूएस से, और जब उन्हें वहां जाकर सम्मानित किया गया, उस तरीके से बहुत सारी चीजें भारत ने दी हैं। और अभी जो लोग कोडिंग कर रहे हैं, और जो लोग कंप्यूटर्स पर और ऑटोमेशन पर, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस पर, ऑगमेंट रियलिटी पर, ब्लॉकचेन पर, इंटरनेट ऑफ थिंग्स पर काम कर रहे हैं, वो सब ये कहते हैं कि संस्कृत भाषा का बहुत बड़ा योगदान है as far as technology and as far as automation and as far as the future artificial intelligence is concerned। आपके शिक्षा से अध्यात्म की तौर जो हम आगे बढ़े, सुबह 9:30 बजे, अभी शाम को 5 बजे हमारा हर संडे को प्रोग्राम होता है 650 million population। Aj there was a lady from Vietnam, and she discussed the entire case study of Vietnam, what is happening in Vietnam, what exactly Vietnam economy is, how it's growing, what the younger generation of ASEAN thinks, how 24% youngsters, they want to go out of ASEAN and they want to go to the bigger economies and they want to work over there. So there was a complete case study. So every Sunday evening, 5 p.m., we come India ASEAN joint series, which is the global confluence of great visionaries and experts in the corporate houses. Our president is also watching this particular program at this point of time from Thailand. I'm grateful to him. Our future president is also watching this program all the way from Malaysia. My deep thanks to him also. And my immediate past president is also watching this program from Los Angeles. I'm grateful to all of them. And all the stakeholders in different countries, Indo Chamber, wherever we have got India Chamber with the respective countries, all of you, those are there. I'm grateful to all of you. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being with us. From 25th of March till 15th of August, ladies and gentlemen, देखिए आप बहुत ज़्यादा वॉच कर रहे हैं बीच बीच में, क्योंकि हमारे चेंबर ने बताया है कि आप अपने हाथों को हिलाते रहिए, अपने शोल्डर्स को हिलाते रहिए, कंप्यूटर पे मत टिके रहिए। जो लोग इस प्रोग्राम को देख रहे हैं, जो लोग इस प्रोग्राम को कर रहे हैं, मुझको मिलाकर हम सब लोग अपने अपने सर्वाइकल को अवॉइड करें, स्पॉन्डिलाइटिस को अवॉइड करें, क्योंकि टू मच ऑफ दिस। और मुझे बड़ी हंसी आती है, मलेशिया से हमारे फ्यूचर प्रेसिडेंट ने फोन किया, और मुझे कहा दादा बहुत जूम जूम हो रहा है। तो मैं हंस के बोला, मैंने कहा सर क्या हो गया? कहते बहुत जूम जूम हो रहा है। मैंने बोला तो क्या करना चाहिए? कहते जूम जूम के बीच में एक्सरसाइज करिए, और ये सब लोगों के लिए है। There is nothing bad about it. It will become the normal. It will become the norm. You will start adopting it. क्योंकि किसी भी चीज से दुखी होने का क्या मतलब है? You got to be taking care of yourself. So whatever we have got from the world over, we wish to share with all of you that from 25th of March till 15th of August, yesterday, last evening, we had 15 experts on the wellness. कल 15 अगस्त था, कल 15 योद्धा आए वेलनेस के, और हम लोगों ने 1 घंटा 50 मिनट का कार्यक्रम किया कल रात को, और जिसके अंदर वेलनेस की थेरेपी पूरे वर्ल्ड को दी. So ladies and gentlemen, the research which has come from the ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry from the world over, during this corona virus period, there are 3 things which are very important to all of us. First is your basic food. अपने ही घर में सब्जी उगाइए, अपने घर की छत पे उगाइए, अपने घर के आंगन में उगाइए, जहां कोई कोना मिलता है वहां सब्जी उगा दीजिए, ऑर्गेनिक सब्जी लीजिए. बेसिक फूड आपके पास होना चाहिए. किसी को भी पता नहीं है, सब कुछ अटकलों पर है. कोरोना कब जाएगा? कोरोना वापस तो नहीं आएगा. वैक्सीन आएगी, कब आएगी, क्या होगा? Nobody knows about it. So why to live in this kind of a भ्रम? Why not? We should start growing some vegetable. मैंने कम से कम 15 दिन की सब्जियां अपने घर में उगाने के लिए शुरुआत कर दी है, और मुझे पहली बार समझ आई कौन सी सब्जी किस मौसम में उगती है और कैसे उगती है. So why not to get and adopt that? Second part, अपनी वेलनेस का ख्याल रखिए, अपनी हेल्थ का ख्याल रखिए. स्वामी रामदेव जी जब अपना प्रोग्राम करते हैं तो साथ साथ एक्सरसाइज भी करते हैं और आपको करवाते भी हैं. और हम इस प्रोग्राम में माइक्रो, स्मॉल और मीडियम एंटरप्राइज में आपको योद्धा बनाएंगे और आपको तैयार करेंगे. जब आप माइक्रो, स्मॉल और मीडियम एंटरप्राइज के लिए तैयार होंगे तो सब कुछ प्रैक्टिकल होगा, कुछ भी थ्योरेटिकल नहीं होगा. आपकी वोकेशनल्स भी होगी, आपकी इंटर्नशिप भी होगी, आपकी सारी चीजें होंगी. और तीसरी बात, एक चीज समझ लीजिए, education will never get back to the mode what it used to be in January and February. Now it will get to the new mode. It will get the new flip learning, digital mode, blended mode, outside 4 walls. It's not going to be inside alone. So it's something wonderful. और B2B जिसको हम कहते थे पहले, business to business, it will be retermed, renamed. और हमारे चेंबर की तरफ से एक सौगात है, that is called back to basics of life. वही सरवाइव करेगा जो बैक टू बेसिक्स होगा. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the last slide, but very important and very powerful slide. ऊपर की 3 लाइनें देखिए. Excuse me. Whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, इस बात को गांठ बांध लीजिए. Whatsoever human mind, ये जो माइंड है, whatsoever it can conceive and it can believe, it can achieve. सबसे पहले आइडिया आना चाहिए, उस आइडिया में आपको बिलीव करना चाहिए. और यही माइक्रो, स्मॉल और मीडियम एंटरप्राइज जब MSME की बातचीत होगी. सो आज हमारे आदरणीय जो रविंद्र नाथ जी हैं, अपने साथ 2 योद्धा को लेके आए हैं. जैसे डॉक्टर वॉरियर्स हैं, नर्सेज हैं, पैरामेडिकल के लोग हैं, उसी तरीके से ये एक्सपर्ट्स भी योद्धा हैं, ये भी वॉरियर्स हैं, क्योंकि ये आपके साथ इस युद्ध में ये अपनी अपनी भूमिका निभा रहे हैं और आपको बता रहे हैं कि हमने कोरोना को किस तरीके से दूर करना है. और इकोनॉमिक पावर इज आल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. हाउ टू स्टार्ट अप, व्हाट टू डू, व्हिच वे टू डू, व्हिच वे टू गो, ऑल दैट हैज टू बी टेकन केयर ऑफ. सो लेट्स कम टुगेदर. द बेस ऑफ द यूनिवर्स इज एजुकेशन. इसी एजुकेशन से इंजीनियर बनेंगे, यहीं से डॉक्टर बनेंगे, यहीं से दूसरे योद्धा बनेंगे किसी भी प्रोफेशन में, और यहीं से हमारे ब्यूरोक्रेट्स, नेता लोग सब यहीं से जाएंगे. सो लेट अस मेक एजुकेशन रेलेवेंट. Global confluence of educators, motivators, technocrats, counselors. Should you wish to be a panelist or send your suggestion, send at innovation@ICSI.Asia. If you want to send a small WhatsApp, you're more than welcome. Globally, you can send to us. We would be more than happy to get your suggestion and your idea. So ladies and gentlemen, comes a beautiful evening, wonderful evening, a memorable evening, yet another very powerful evening. because every day we try and put in our best of efforts, what best we can do for the humanity. अपने लिए जिए तो क्या जिए, ये तो सब कुछ समाज के लिए होना चाहिए और सभ्यता के लिए होना चाहिए, संस्कृति के लिए होना चाहिए और वसुधैव कुटुंब के अंदर इसको लेके चलते हैं आगे। तो आज की शाम हमारे जो वॉरियर्स हैं उस पर्टिकुलर टीम को लीड कर रहे हैं श्री रविंद्र नाथ जी, द फॉर्मर चेयरमैन एंड मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर, नेशनल स्मॉल इंडस्ट्रीज कॉर्पोरेशन। A great welcome, a hearty welcome, and a very warm welcome. He is a visionary, he is a very dynamic person, and I have requested him, क्योंकि अकेला कोई भी नहीं, मैं अकेला ही चला था जानबे मंजिल, लोग आते गए और कारवां बनता गया, ऐसे ही लोग साथ जुड़ते गए और हम आगे चलते गए। मैंने इनसे निवेदन किया और काफी सालों से जब हम मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एमएसएमई को रोड मैप, एक्शन प्लान, व्हाइट पेपर, कभी ना कभी कोई ना कोई डॉक्यूमेंट, कभी सेक्रेटरी साहब को, कभी एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी साहब को, सबको मिलते रहते थे। हम एनएसआईसी भी गए, जो इन्होंने एनएसआईसी का इनोवेशन का और इंक्यूबेशन का जो वहां का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, इनकी टीम की एनर्जी, सिनर्जी, उनकी पावर, उनकी क्रिएटिविटी, उनका डायनामिज्म, उनका जज्बा, वो सब देखने के बाद मैंने इनसे निवेदन किया कि जब आप सेवा से निवृत्त हो तो मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि एमएसएमई का कारोबार आप संभालिए इस चेंबर के साथ, एंड आई वुड मेक ए हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट टू यू। और इस चेंबर के माध्यम से विश्व को हमने, अगर भारत को पुनः विश्व गुरु बनना है तो उस विश्व गुरु बनने में सबका योगदान है और माइक्रो, स्मॉल और मीडियम एंटरप्राइज का बहुत बड़ा योगदान है। सो लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, लेट्स एक्सटेंड टुगेदर a very hearty welcome to Shri Ravindra Nath ji, who served as a chairman and managing director of NSIC, a public sector enterprise of Government of India, Ministry of MSME, till September 2018. Besides this, Shri Nath ji, he has held various positions of corporate head of finance in public and private sectors. Shri Nath ji, he has over 3 decades of experience in various areas of finance, accounts, and management. I would call it a strategic management, not only management, strategic management and futuristic management. And Shri Nath ji, he has worked on various initiatives to achieve inclusive growth in the country, particularly in the micro, small and medium enterprises. He was actively engaged in promotion and development of MSMEs, as well as entrepreneurship development, creating collaborative environment to promote technology transfer, joint ventures between MSME both in India and overseas. Lot of new projects he started when he was in chair and he was taking care of the NSIC. And he has been conferred with several awards, including the CMD of the Year Award in June 2015 for his exemplary role in promotion and development of the micro, small and medium enterprises sector in India, Outstanding Leadership Award conferred by 4 and top rankers in 2018 for achieving business excellence through creativity, innovation and entrepreneurship, and with the vision and with the prayer to Almighty that on 31st of December this year, he should get the international award being the best strategist to take out the humanity out of the clutches and the difficult moments and what people are passing through the negative psychographic analysis at this point of time. And we would work in that particular direction from our chamber, and we look forward to his valuable inputs and support. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined this evening by Sardar Satvinder Singh ji. He is the Managing Director, NITCON Limited. A very hearty welcome to him. I have met him on a number of occasions. Very warm person, very dynamic person, very dedicated person, very vibrant person, and under Rabindranath ji's command, he has done exemplary work. Shri Singh, having vast experience of more than 30 years in the areas like execution of skill development, capacity building, training programs, design and development industry-driven, demand-driven training courses, creating linkages with industries as knowledge partner for skill development training program, setting up incubation centers for self-entrepreneurship development across India and in overseas countries. In addition, Shri Singh served as a country head in Dubai with an aim to promote the export of projects and products being manufactured by industries. Before joining NITCON, he has served as technology head. I saw him last with NSIC, the National Small Industries Corporation. What a pleasure to have him this evening with us. He is presently working on various projects like hand-holding support to hospitals, health facilities for implementation of quality practices under Ayushman Bharat scheme of Government of India. I think it's a great noble cause during this coronavirus, what he is doing. Setting up vocational training centers and incubation centers in Rwanda. That's great. Setting up common facility centers in clusters under cluster development schemes. We extend a very hearty welcome to Sardar Satvinder Singh ji, the Managing Director, NITCON Limited, this evening. A great and a very warm welcome. We have got another warrior, another Yodha, Shri Anil Chaudhry ji, Senior Director, Delta Electronics India Private Limited. A very warm and a very hearty welcome to him. He is currently a Senior Director. He is heading Robotics and Solution Product Group within Business Unit Industrial Automation for Delta Electronics India Private Limited. A great and a very warm welcome to him. This evening, we would like to understand from him about robotics and particularly in our education, making education relevant, how it can be relevant. Of course, Ravindra Nath ji will be conducting the entire program, but my request would be that somewhere we give the linkage with the education. Completed his mechanical engineering in the year 1995 from prestigious Jamia Millia Islamia University, and since then associated in the field of automation. Having hands-on experience dealing with robots for various applications across industries, I am turning very inquisitive to know more and more about it, because in our education system, we need everything practical and what exactly the robots can do. So we will discuss in that. Delta, founded in 1971, is a global provider of power and thermal management solutions. Its mission statement to provide innovative, clean and energy efficient solutions for a better tomorrow focuses on addressing key environmental issues such as global climate change. Very important subject. It's a global issue, global climate change. Wow. As an energy saving solution provider with core competencies in power, electronic and automation, Delta's business categories include power, electronics, automation and infrastructure. A great, warm and a hearty welcome to Shri Anil Chaudhry ji. So ladies and gentlemen, with these words, I remove the curtain and I completely drop the curtains and I get you right over here at the center stage. And we extend a very warm welcome to all three warriors and all three Yodhas. And I request Shri Ravindra Nath ji to unmute his mic to take on the floor. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. And also before that, I would request each one of you, before we get into micro, small and medium enterprise, and before we get into digital, do not get cervical, do not get any kind of a problem, do a little bit of a yoga, whatsoever you can. And with these words, I hand you over in a very safe hand to take on the further journey, Shri Ravindra Nath ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for such inspiring words. My hearty greetings to all the participants, and also my warm regards to my co-panelists. Such illustrious people, I am proud to have them today with me. Mr. Satvinder Singh, I compliment him on taking over as the Managing Director of NITCON. My hearty congratulations, and I'm sure under his leadership, NITCON will be reaching new heights, unprecedented heights, and a person who has such a wide experience of linkages between industry, academia, and entrepreneurship. I'm sure it will be such a pleasure discussing these critical and such important things, the topic which you have kept for today, skill gap analysis and linkages with industry. I also feel privileged and honored to have Mr. Anil Chaudhry with him. I was discussing with him and how he has really taken Delta to new heights. We will be definitely looking up to him to provide industry the experience, share his experience. And it was such a pleasure to have a small relationship during the time I was with NSIC. But thank you so much to both these gentlemen to be part of this deliberations which we are going to have today. My hearty welcome to all the members from the industry who have joined us today. And it's such an important thing. Yesterday, when we were listening to our Honorable Prime Minister, even he was laying so much of emphasis on skills, on the youth, on the industry, as he was again really invoking within us the spirit of making India Atmanirbhar. Ladies and gentlemen, let us remember that today India is poised at a stage where its status as a breakthrough economy depends on its focus and attention on building its human capital. We all believe that India is going to be the youngest population, the youngest country in the world in times to come. But then, without going into the details of that, let me put before you that we are faced with a paradox. A paradox that, on one hand, there is a significant youth unemployment, and also the private sector bemoans a lack of adequately skilled market-ready workers. And we all know that in India, the workforce grows by 1.3 million each month. And when we look at the large corporations, the medium-sized businesses, the institutions in the formal economy, they generate employment for less than 1/10 of this increasing workforce, which means that for every 15 to 16 million Indians who join the workforce every year, merely 1 million are able to get meaningful, dignified, and adequately remunerative work in the formal economy. Only around 1 million. The rest of the workforce struggles in situations of obvious unemployment or disguised underemployment. And the left behind workforce, it either holds the potential to fuel the engine of growth through gainful and productive activity, or they will be marring the India's growth story with their joblessness. It is also estimated that in order to streamline the current alarming job situation, India will need to add 15 million new jobs annually for the next 15 years. In order to ensure that the economy grows at a sustainable rate with rise in industrial growth, an enormous pool of skilled workforce has to be created. This is mandatory. There is no choice into this. And that is where our topic for today had come: the skilling of the youth, the needs of the industry. So let me just put before you the challenges which we are facing today. There is a big percentage of educated workforce which are unemployable because they do not possess the technical and technological skills required in today's market. And when we say this, it's also accepted that less than 3% of the country's total working population is vocationally or professionally trained, as compared to 60 to 70% in the developed countries. If I may give the example of South Korea, the percentage is 96 over there. Further, there is significant skepticism about the quality and relevance of education imparted. It's critical to have education which is relevant, which is affordable and accessible. But the another challenge which faces us today is automation. And I'm sure my co-panelist, Mr. Anil Chaudhry, will be really taking the fear out of our minds when he shares his experiences. But it is being said that automation is likely to render a very big percentage of today's educated workforce obsolete in the coming decades. But I'm not going to threaten you or worry you in any matter, but just to put the facts across, let me share with you that McKinsey has predicted in its report that 800 million workers could be displaced in 42 countries, or a third of the workforce, because of the fourth industrial revolution. As a die-hard optimist, I always believe that we had 3 industrial revolutions before. Let the fourth one also come. We are resolute enough to face this. But at the same time, there's another challenge which lies ahead of us. And the challenge is the organized labor force represents a very small percentage of the total workforce which we have. Almost 90% of the labor force comes from the unorganized sector. This is a big challenge. And as we are running into increasingly complex paradoxes related to skilling, the workforce which we have, there's a big divide between, as I mentioned ahead, we have a huge educated workforce, but the industry says it's not relevant. As over 1 million people, as I just said, join the workforce every month, they carry a lot of aspirations for a better life, which get reflected in the desire for further training and building skills, which will definitely get them better cadres, better jobs. And also, the industry, as it strives to become more competitive, they would be willing to make the necessary investments in terms of training people to increase their productivity and also paying the trained staff. The normal expectations which arise out of these situations are on the demand side. When there is a big demand, which means more jobs, there'll be a major demand for the means to get there. That is, more and more people will like to become more qualified, more skilled, more relevant for the industry. And on the other side, whenever there is a big demand for skilled people, there will always be a willingness to pay differentials for the right abilities. This is where the expected things move. The industry to put in more investments, to give the commensurate remunerations, and looking at the job scenario, the people would be coming forward with the right skill sets so as a compatibility sets in. While these are the expectations, but unfortunately, neither of these are happening today at the scale required to make an impact on our demographic dividend. So what happens in this scenario? This puts up a few critical questions which need to be addressed. And I'm sure my co-panelists with a vast experience would definitely be looking into them and trying to give answers to these questions which I get to hear from the industry, I get to hear from the academia. The questions which normally come up are, what skills should we or can we teach them so as to make them relevant? How do we impart skills to them? Then who will be paying for the skills? Will it be entirely borne by the people who have already spent quite an amount in their academic education? As I said, 90% of the workforce comes from the unorganized sector. How would we be reaching the unorganized sector to instill the right skills within them? And then when we talk of skills, how do we set standards? How do we ensure that the quality of training is not perfunctory and instead is excellent? Also, how do we convince industry that skilled people need to be paid a differential, failing which the demand for the skill training will never rise in a noticeable manner? And what industries will they eventually join once the skill sets are acquired? With this brief background, I would request my co-panelist, Mr. Satvinder Singh, to give his inputs, to share his experiences. And I would like to hand it over to him. Mr. Satvinder Singh.
Thanks, Ravindra Nath ji. First of all, I must compliment Dr. Gulshan Sharma for taking this initiative to organize webinars on the relevant topics. While taking the note of the today's topic, the skill gap analysis and industry connect. And especially when I look into the panelists which they have chosen, eminent people from the technical side and from the industry, as well as the head of the organization's NSIC, Mr. Ravindra Nath, I believe that the deliberations during the session would be quite informative and beneficial to the participants. So first of all, good evening to all participants. It was informed that there may be participants from the overseas countries. Yes, because this topic does not believe in boundaries. And I hope that whatever the deliberations which will come out from this session would be quite useful for them also. When I look into the topic, there are two things which are there in the topic. One is that skill gap, and another one is industry connect. Skill gap. When somebody says skill gap, is it right now the skill gap arises? In the past, it was not there. And what kind of the skill gap is there? And why it is coming? We have very good institutions. We have universities. We have these technical centers also. So why the skill gap is coming out? And whether it was earlier, because when we are into this academic sessions in the past 80s or 70s, nobody has taught what kind of skill gap is there. But today it's a very much taught topic, skill gap. Why this is? So we'll address into that. If you look into the earlier, whenever somebody graduated from the college, engineering college, or maybe from the other side, they will go to the industry and industry will train them on their subject, domain, and then it starts working and working well. But now, when we look into the today's scenario, the skill set is different. The technology is changing very fast. And if I look into the MSME perspective, recently the government of India has changed the definition of MSMEs. Now the investment limit is up to 50 crores for the medium industries. If we look into that, it means that there is so much of technological advancements. New technologies are coming to the MSME sector. When these new technologies are coming very fast, certainly the skills required to operate, skills required to go for these technologies. That is the reason there is no time for the industry and from the industry to get the trained on them, on the machines. And secondly, if I look into the MSME sector, they are looking for this expansion. Because why they are looking for expansion, that I'll look into. So first of all, when I look into this data, every year 25 million youths workforce is joining the industries, joining the job market. And by 600 million by 2022, youth will be available for the job market. So if we look into that, we need, and simultaneously, yes, I'll just in my deliberation, I'll correlate what kind of demand and supply is there. But it means that we have the supply side, ingredients are there. And at the same time, demand side also, we have some good news coming out from the different domains. So we have the demand and supply. The only thing is that the matchmaking. That is the reason this skill gap is now everybody is talking to bridge the gap between the demand and supply. So if we look into, now I'll take an example. So India, as we said, that it is youth economy is going to become a knowledge economy. If I say yes, it can be a knowledge economy, provided the youth energy should be channelized in such a way that what kind of requirement of the industry, not only in India, plus from the abroad, it has to be met by the technical training, by the specialized training, by the modular trainings and all. So if first of all, I look into what kind of demand size. In India, we have seen the demand is coming from every sector. If I say from the defense, yes, everybody knows that the defense indigenization is going on. The industries are participating for making these components, equipments for the defense. Automations of the ordnance factory boards are in process. Corporatization of the industry of the ordnance factory boards are in process. It means that there will be a huge requirement of skills to operate, to manufacture the components which will be offloaded to the private sector very soon. Second is railway. If we look into, the railway privatization expansion plans are on. So everybody is thinking to why not we should join this from the private sector, this railway privatization. I'll just take an example, in earlier days, we used to get the idea about the inventory management. When we taught inventory management, we said it's a LIFO or FIFO, last in, first out, or first in, first out, or ABC analysis. But nowadays, even the inventory management, the situation becomes very complex because there are so many factors are there. I'll take an example of railways. If we look into the inventory management, there is a demand side at the different locations with efficiency, productivity, and at the right time. So it's not only confined to the LIFO and FIFO. It requires an IoT. It requires artificial intelligence. And if any inventory manager, yes, it's well equipped, even then he has to learn about these skills to undertake the assignment in any sector. It may be railway, it may be any sector. So now other sector is automotive. There are many companies are operating in India, and every time now they are changing the models. We need the people, those who can design the things. We need the workforce who can deliberate and derive the new models, new avenues, hybrid automotives, mobility automotives. This type of things are coming into this automotive sector also. If I look into electronic sector, yes, everybody knows that the government of India is pushing that we should have this more and more industries into the electronic sector, because this is where we can be towards this Atmanirbhar Bharat. And similarly, in the sectors like agro-processing, now recently these farmers have been allowed to sell their products anywhere, and the processing is going on in the different domains at the different levels, even at the rural areas or semi-urban areas. This food processing is going to be start very soon. So we need the manpower. Besides this, if I look into my household, or today OTT is there. Before that, we used to see this only the cable channels and all. Now it's OTT. And the OTT is coming. There are so many skills is required. Content, their deliberations, all the things are now coming up. So my view is that yes, demand size is there. It is there, but that it's not the universal common demand. It's a demand with specialized skills. A demand with a domain knowledge plus top up with the specialized skills. So in addition, yes, in the existing industry, as per the report, the 60% of their operations, value-added operations to the raw materials will be automated in the next 3 years. So we can imagine that not only the upcoming demand from the different domains, which I explained earlier, there is a demand even for the automation or for the new technologies in the existing industry. Now, every micro, small and medium enterprises, somebody says that the challenge is credit. Yes, I agree, the challenge is credit. But the main challenge today to the MSME is skilled manpower to address their technological needs, to address their modernization plans, to address their requirement of new technologies. So that is where this topic is very much relevant. Now, how to address? The question is, as Mr. Ravindra Nath said, how to address this skill gap, and what kind of things we have to do it, and what the things are missing in the present ecosystem. Upskilling. The one word is upskilling. If we look into the Prime Minister from Redford, they clearly said कि अब हमें upskilling करनी पड़ेगी, हमारे लोगों को upskilling की तरफ जाना पड़ेगा. What is the meaning of upskilling? When I was talking to some of the students, why not you go for the upskilling? They said, shall I have to spend dollars for the upskilling? No, it's not required. Upskilling is a top up. If you did anything, if a 6th class student in the new education policy is going for the coding, it doesn't say that you have to be an engineer and you have to be something like that. No, nothing is there. Now upskilling is the need of hour. Upskilling or reskilling, whatever we can say, but upskilling is the right word for me. You know, when we say that upskilling, now the people in the past 2 years, everybody says for upskilling, where should I go? Where should I go for the training? If I go for the training center, they will ask the 4 years degree program, even in the automation and something like that. To address this, in a couple of years back, the government of India has set up the National Skill Development Corporation, under which more 35 plus sector skill councils were set up. Their prime objective is to the participation of the industries with them to create a modular skill development programs. They did it. That is why this NSQF, National Skill Qualification Framework, was in place. If I look into the new education policy, where they said that the schools, they have this vocational skills that is also linked with National Skill Qualification Framework. The reason is, you know, the National Skill Qualification Framework says you need not to go, this is a modular setup of these training programs. Modular means, suppose in one module, they are teaching about XYZ details. If you need XYZ only, you can enter into that module and exit into that module. You will eligible to get the certificate for that module also. So that is the integration of formal education system with National Skill Qualification Framework with a level from 1 to 10. The National Skill Qualification Framework is giving the levels. So we can go for the level 1 to 10. So purely defines your skill, what kind of skills you carry. Is it a supervisory skill, it's an operations skill, or it is a managerial skill, something like that. So it's already into the place, but I can say that since the demand is coming very fast and this the pace of this is slightly slower than what the demand is expected. So keeping in view of the emerging economic environment, where the market is purely dependent on consumer behavior, globalizations and all, the upskilling is very much required for each and everyone. Not only this, and upskilling doesn't have the age limit. Yes, I do not agree that if somebody says that I'm already crossed this age and it is very difficult for me to upskilling. Yes. And now where to get this upskilling? How to address this? I'll request, you know, the participant to look into, there are so many organizations, even the international organizations are also offering the upskilling on modular basis for the topics, those who are very much relevant in the present context or in the, if I look into this 2021, 2022, you know, the upskilling is very much required in artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotics, machine learning, data computations, cloud computing, and such type of skill. Not only this, even in the existing manufacturing units, there is always a data compilation for decision making. It's the time has gone that we should rely on a paper data for the last 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years and depend on that. But there is so much of complexities are going on. There are a number of institutions, those who are offering this type of modular programs. If I permit to mention that in my past organization, National Small Industries Corporation, through the technical centers, is offering these type of modular training programs, purely on demand driven, industry oriented, and requirement of the industries, based on the requirement of the industries. So I'm not saying that you join any of the prescribed organization or this, but the demand, these programs are available to the different organizations. Even the Google or Microsoft or some other organizations are also offering these type of courses in India. It's an online, sometimes it's a hybrid with online as well as with the classroom trainings, open chat and everything. So immediately we should address and look into these programs and join these programs. It's a very convenient and it's a very flexible timings are there for these programs. Without that, it would be difficult for them to get into the industry or remain in the industry or remain in the organization. Or it may be service sector, it may be industry sector, but yes, these type of skills are very much required. Second thing I would request, whenever we say that it's a top-up courses or something like that, upskilling, always look into the case studies, which I tell to all the students, whenever they are going for the top-up course, not only the theoretical one, look into the case studies. What kind of simulations, what kind of permutation combinations which they have achieved. They have done it while doing this, some assignment with them. And third thing is that, look into the modular courses and immediately go for these modular courses. There are chances, nowadays some of the organizations, very reputed organizations, they are asking what kind of modular courses contents you require. It's a customized modular courses are in place. That is where the NSQF is also moving towards. The customized modular courses are available with the organizations, with the academic institutions, even the colleges or even the universities, those who are offering these non-technical courses, they are also going for this modular upskilling courses for the beneficiaries. So second topic is Industry Connect. The second is Industry Connect. I do agree that the Industry Connect is very much required. Without that, it would be difficult for the institutions or organizations to go for a successful training program. Because working in isolation without the connect with an industry by any organization or any institution would not suffice any purpose. Because as I said, that industry is changing very fast. Industry is changing and industry is asking their requirement on yesterday's basis. So when we say like that, if we will work in isolation, it would be difficult for them to survive. If we ask, people are ready to pay. That is what I understood. That is why I gather. That is what when I interact with the students, they said, sir, we can pay any amount. It's not I'm saying that, okay, the hefty amount. They can say, yes, we are ready to pay, but where should we get the training? Where we can get the connect with an industry? Though Government of India has launched National Apprenticeship Act. Yes, it is going well and it's now improving. They have relaxed some of the aspects of this National Apprenticeship Act and it's going well now. It's now we are expecting that the industry will come forward for this NAPS also. But for any institution, yes, we need to connect with the industry. Now, if somebody says that how to connect with an industry, I was just interacting with one of the reputed college. He said how we can interact with the industry, how we can join hand with the industry. I said industry is willing to join with you, provided you give them the clear idea how you want to join them. So first of all, how we can say that, okay, fine, how to join. One way is, I'll take an industry perspective. Suppose I am from the industry. If I'll say that I am manufacturing some, because my co-panelist, Mr. Anil would be the best for that reason, but I'll just explain, Suppose an industry is manufacturing some machines. Their technological advancement is there, so machines are also going to advance. They're with IoT and other things. Now, whenever they sell the machine to any of the organization, MSMEs, somebody says that MSME doesn't have the money. I disagree. MSME is ready to invest the money provided all the checks and balances to be addressed. So first question the MSME or the industry owner asks, मुझे इसकी manpower कहाँ से मिलेगी? How we can get the skilled manpower? If I am an industry, I am manufacturing the machine. I said कि सर हम आपको 15 दिन के लिए आपकी manpower को train कर देंगे, वो बिल्कुल ready हो जाएगी. Then industry will say after 15 days, if he left, then what I will do? Then the question arises, then the industry people will say, sir, what I can do? I can again come for the training, but that cost to the industry, and how the industry will be so hand holding with the MSME units for training to their people at a longer way. So that is where we need to address that. All the institutions, those who are working on upskilling or even the regular courses, they have to connect with an industry. Industry is ready to connect with them, because I have an experience. So many industries, they are ready to join with the institutions to share as a knowledge partner their knowledge, their skills, their all automations, their technological advancements in the machines, and even they are ready to provide the machines to their premises so that the people can train and ultimately they can serve to the MSME immediately on their appointment with the or engagement with the industry. Now, if somebody says, okay, fine, this is industry connect is good. Yes, we can interact with an industry, agreed. But if it says that I am not industry, but I need a specialized manpower, how we can get it? That is where, every institutions, they have the technical placement cell. So that is where the technical placement cell, the placement office of the institutions plays a vital role. Because I have an experience, suppose some industry wants a XYZ. He said, okay, fine, you are training on X, Y, but I also need the Z component into the training. How you can address? So they have to be flexible. That is where the NSQF now is also allowing all the institutions, they can go for top up to their existing curriculum in such a way that whatever the industries is required, this can be addressed. So now once they will go into that, ultimately what will we do? We'll ask, the placement officer will ask the industry, what exactly you need? They said, I need a Z component. Then he can ask the supervisor or the module head to go for the module Z component also. That is what the industry is required. And after that, they will be more eligible to join the industry, those who are looking for X, Y, and Z. So that is where this placement officer plays an important role. The third aspect is, when we say that, okay, fine, connect with an industry, we can facilitate this industry because the industry needs a manpower also wherever they are selling the machines. So connect with an industry, not only for this topping up or upskilling, but also for the manpower requirement, what they foresee when they supply the machines. So it's a win-win position for all of us. So that is where we worked in the past years, and we have seen that there is a success is there. And that is where the upskilling is very much required. In my deliberation, the conclusion part is upskilling is very much required. Even if you are well qualified, even if you are well experienced, you need an upskilling now. Because the things are changing very rapidly, very fast, and it's now time. Second is the connect with an industry. Yes, there is a need that the government should ask the industry to connect with the institutions with a flexible ways. It's not necessary that we should ask the industry to dictate the terms and ask them to join, and then wholeheartedly they will not join, and ultimately this will not be a fruitful model for all of us. So first understand the industry requirement and connect with an industry, and finally industry connect with the institutions, and it's a 360-degree cycle will be completed. So that is my deliberation on that. I'll over to Mr. Anil, who is from the Delta Automation, because he's been associated with number of institutions. I believe that he will be the right to say something on this industry connect and upskilling, what kind of challenges which they are facing into this. Thank you very much.
सर आप म्यूट है सर, आपका म्यूट है सर, रविंद्र सर.
Thank you, Satvinder ji. Thank you very much for your inputs. I would now request Mr. Anil Chaudhry to share his experiences.
Namaste to everyone, and I think it is a very, very informative session for me also, from the data and the messages from Dr. Gulshan Sharma, and then respected Ravindra Nath sir, and then Satvinder ji is also explained nicely the connection missing between the industry and what we are doing. Now I will give you very different perspective, to be very frank, from the industry side of story, and you will love to hear that. Is it so? Is the industry is thinking like this, and how industry is surviving in India? You will get some insight from my side, and once I will say inside, I will try to reconnect or try to connect with a live example I faced, or one of my customer or one of my colleague has spoken to me about the skill set and then problems and other thing. First thing, normally when I start with the topic called robotics and automation, so one fear we should bring out from our side, that robots are going to take the jobs of any operator. We have a say in robotics. Robots creates better job, doesn't take job. So I give an example now, very true example. If anybody has visited to a forging industry, just imagine a forging industry where you are making a maybe axle of a car or axle of a truck. Imagine a 1200 degree centigrade component. A operator is lifting, which is weighing maybe 100 kg in total weight, lifting with a tackle and placing into the press and then stamping it and going to the next process. Please see what operator is doing there. Now there is a possibility to put a robot there, but once again we are not taking the job here for the operator, because to operate that robot we need a person like me or person like you or from the industry. But very true, we need to upgrade the skill set of that person who is manually handling. And I tell you, he is the right person to handle that robot also, because the our industry or the industry perspective, if you really ask, we measure ourselves on three parameters. One is the quality, second is the productivity, and third one is the logistic cost, what we are going to create to build a component. So if I say, if the operator is placing that component wrongly into the press, I have created the wrong part. That means I am losing a opportunity, means selling that component to the market. Somebody else will send, either maybe from China, Vietnam, or somewhere else. It will come, take up my market. Third, I am not going to waste that iron or that raw material. I need to reprocess it. That means I need to restore the rejected part, move it back to the operation again to make it okay part. So there is a cost involved in this. And if we take this cost, it is a good amount of cost. So normally we say our yield should be more than 95% or yield should be more than 99%. And that is the reason we are talking, because we are measuring on quality, productivity, and the cost of the logistic. And why I say quality first, because it is the most important parameter for us if need to survive into the industry. If we don't produce good quality product, I'm sure we will be washed out from the market. Somebody from outside will take our market, maybe within India or maybe from the outside India. And everybody would love to pay a little bit more for the quality. And if I say quality, I am not saying the quality of the product here. I am linking the quality of the manpower also here. So just to answer the question, is industry is ready to pay for the skilled labor little bit more? The answer is big yes. Subjected to we are getting the right quality of the people. And now, as we said, there is a shift in the paradigm from 1.0. I was not there in the industry. 2.0, I have not seen the industry that time, but I have gone through the whole industry 2.5 revolution to industry 3.0, which is running, at the industry 4.0. I am also learning so many things, and I am telling you myself sitting here, I am upgrading myself on industry 4.0. I don't know anything about the edge computing or data collection or artificial intelligence, because I have never learned in the education. It was not there in when I did my engineering in 95. It was missing completely from that point of time. I only learned maybe CAD CAM, which is over now. Now we are talking something more than that. But if you see from the skill perspective also, I am trying to answer this question in the two perspective. One is the industry, and the second is from the unemployment point of view also, which we also see that we are contributing or not contributing as a decision maker. Because I am a decision maker in the industry where I can take certain decision. Of course, the decision has to be right. So we look for the basically three type of skilled manpower right now, because we are in the field of automation. One, who can create our machine, which is future demand or the current demand. So that means I need people who can assemble my machine after reading the drawing. People number two, who can go and commission the machine to the customer side and meet the customer demand, what is the customer is looking as output from the machine, including the productivity and quality. And third, who can upkeep this machine along with the customer. So I will say, I need a person who is working on my shop floor, one person who is going to customer, and a third who is providing the after sales service. And the challenge we are facing at the industry, if we go to a SME or MSME industry and we say we have built a robotic solution, say simple example, I say soldering of electronics component. It is right now also it is 95% I can say the manual job, but there is a solution available where the automation of even the point to point soldering can be done with a robot, and very simple solution. It's not costly. And MSME, I fully agree with Mr. Satvinder, they're ready to pay for the automation because they get right quality, right productivity, and the right output at the end of the day. But they are afraid of what is the problem if that skilled manpower you are training is leave the organization, then who is going to run this white or orange or yellow elephant? Why I'm taking this name? Because these are the normal colors of the robots basically you see in the industry, because it is a moving part. So, but what we can do along with you as an industry, we can create the skilled manpower not only to fulfill our demand of the local country in India, but also there is a huge demand for the skilled manpower outside India also. I was reading an article, and you will be amazed to hear this. Japan is having a 61% shortage of skilled manpower, and India is much better compared to that. We are at 63% shortage of the skilled manpower. So we are better, but if you go to the US, it's still 40% skilled manpower is basically short. So we have ample opportunity to skill our manpower, and not only to deploy at our industry, but also we can export to solve the unemployment what we are facing right now. And that is the reason I believe there is a lot of focus given on three words: skill, upskill, and reskill is also very, very important. We need to reskill also ourselves. If we know something, how we can reskill ourselves to do different things. Because, you know, there is a, if you have a right IQ, it is easy to learn how to peel a banana and how to peel a apple also. You can easily run very effectively. So we need to reskill also ourselves in this way. Another example I give you now, we faced, Delta decided to put the factory in Tamil Nadu in year 2015 and 2016 to produce the PCBs along with the Foxconn. We know all Foxconn is a giant in making mobile phones for Apple and other companies. And then we start interviewing the ITI and the diploma engineers people who can run our production line. And then we asked many of them, do you understand Gerber drawing? And they said, no, we don't know this word at all. What is this? We have never heard this. And to be very frank, Gerber drawing is a drawing which is basically a PCB drawing in the AutoCAD format, which is having the component placement, design data, along with the heat output and the heat dissipation. So then the Foxconn and the other people said, look how we are going to put this factory, because we don't have this skilled manpower in Tamil Nadu. Can we look other state also? And then we went to another state, another state, another state, and the answer was same. So what I see here, there is a big opportunity where industry is ready to come forward, as Satvinder ji say, and we should have a time-bound, tailor-made vocational programs with NSIC or with ITI or with the diploma engineering colleges for maybe 6 months, 3 months, 1 week, based on the type of course can be run. And I assure you, industry people are ready to go and educate them practical requirement of the industry to basically fulfill the automation demand or the manufacturing demand. And we are doing this, to be very frank, because it is our interest. We want to be ourselves more safe, more productive. If I will not upgrade the skill of my manpower, I am sure I will be suffering most, because every customer is going to call me, boss, your machine is not running. This is out 24 hour, 48 hour. Please send in night. Please send in the morning. And the most important, we are training our customers like that, so they can handle that machine accordingly. And if I say it's not me, all the machine manufacturer or the automation company, they really don't want to receive any service call. They said, my work is to basically produce automation, deploy automation to the manufacturing, and then get the best output out of it. And then the customer should be able to run this machine. And this is the reason I said three. Once again, I am repeating: the quality, productivity, and then uh, logistic cost need to be reduced to be aggressive in the market, and also to compete with various international players who are basically trying to take our job and try to take our, if I'm not saying take our business, basically because they may be able to produce a better quality product, but they are selling the machines at much higher cost and the highly complicated machine, but still they are able to do it. I have also noted down some points which may be useful to, this is my personal opinion with certain data I have collected, basically, uh, which is a already I see the actions like higher education reformation is very much required now. If we don't do it, again I will say, I'm still remembering a white paper I have gone through. Out of 4 engineers we are producing as of today, also one is only employable, 3 are not employable into the industry. So who will going to hire that? So there is a definite reformation of the education system is required. Vocational courses, short-term courses, or I say the tailor-made courses to the diploma engineering college or to the ITI, so the students becomes employable, and if they are skilled, they will be paid nicely and they will stick to the industry, and there will be a total ecosystem. So the MSME will not afraid of hiring the new people, because they know after 2 years, if he will leave the my organization, I have a backlog. I will go to the ITI of Jamshedpur, and or this is NSIC of some college, or I will get the people and I will able to sustain my organization. Uh, of course, another point what I focus, we need to focus one part, which is of course the R&D activities to develop new machines, new robots, new type of robots, but also we need to reorient our research towards the application demand also, which is completely missing, to be very frank. I have been to many times to IIT, many IITs. I normally see all students are trying to make their own robots. Not necessary for the industry to make a robot. Robot has been produced in the industry since 1974. That was the time first all electric robot has been introduced to the market. What is missing, basically the application orientation around the robot, like how to integrate a vision system to make the robot as a vision guided robot, how to make a robot adopted to the soldering application or to welding application or to some type of different application. Once we establish this, so this is the second part also need to be run along with the development of our own robot also, because this application will bring lot of boost to the industry and lot of boost to the even the micro size industries also, where the people will be ready to buy the advanced machine because they see there is an advantage of this advanced machine to get the application done. Other than that, I don't see industry is afraid of to collaborate with any of the government organization. Industry is very up, and then industry is very much want to contribute for the skill development and to hire the people and to pay them as much as they can pay if the output is coming rightly. So this is what I see very briefly, considering the time also what we are running right now. I think we are late little bit, but industry is very much motivated to support, to develop the skilled, to get the reskilled and get the upskilled people also. So this is all about little bit from my side. If any questions or any specific explanation is anybody is looking, I'm available any point of time, and now also and later also.
We will have at the end question answer.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Well, thank you, Anilji. Thank you very much for your inputs, and I'm sure uh, you and Mr. Satvinder Singh have really given a lot to, I would say, the government to the skill providers, to the private sector, and especially when the entire world now begins to look towards India. Even the pandemic has thrown open a lot of opportunities which come forward to our country. The various sectors, like even yesterday, the Prime Minister was talking about spending on infrastructure. And Mr. Singh had mentioned about various sectors where he talks about defense, he talks about railways, he talks about automobile. And I would say the entire country is brimming with opportunities, brimming with opportunities. This is something which the entire workforce, which is already there or which is likely to join, it's something so very encouraging for them. It's not that we need to be depressed that जो हमें सीखा है वो नहीं है. But one of the things which both Mr. Singh as well as Mr. Anil mentioned about upskilling, skilling, reskilling and upskilling, you know, I'm reminded of Mr. Alfred Toffler. He was a futuristic and a philosopher who had once written that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn and relearn. So that was the message which is very much there. And I'm also reminded when Mr. Singh was talking about the challenges which the industry often mention. I'm reminded of various occasions when I used to interact with the industry, and even today, वो इंडस्ट्री का ओनर कहता है कि मैं 1 करोड़ रुपया तो लगा दूं मशीन खरीदने पे, पर मुझे ये एश्योरेंस कैसे होगी कि मेरे पास एक स्किल्ड मैन पावर मिल जाएगी, या अगर वो छोड़ गया तो दूसरा फिर मिल जाएगी. अनिल जी ने भी जैसे कहा कि मेरे जो रोबोट्स हैं वो ऐसे आइडल नहीं खड़े रहेंगे. So that is a big challenge, but then there are institutions already which are there and the government has begun to take initiatives. I am also reminded at this juncture of a connect between the university at a state and the industry in a different state. The industry association rather took this initiative, spoke to the people in the university, encouraged them that please send your students to us. आपने जो 6 महीने की उनको ट्रेनिंग के लिए आपने एक वो सेशन रखा हुआ है उनका 6 months का, आप उसको हमारे पास भेजिए. And let me share with you, it was not a free training which they imparted. It was something which the student also bore, the university also sponsored, and so it was a 6 months training where the children literally worked on the machines. Mr. Anil was mentioning about a similar thing which we did in NSIC, so I didn't want to mention only NSIC. I wanted to share with you a real life case where an industry association well within NCR had tied up with the universities in Rajasthan. The students used to come from there and used to get trained on the machines over there, and some of them after the course were really absorbed by the industry. So if you have the right skills, and you get the right skills by tying up between the academia and the industry, that is what is needed. And I'm sure with all these things which are there, while the education policy takes care of the future of the people who would be rolling out after the new policy is put into place, but still the challenge of getting the right type of skills at the right type of place for the right type of industry. And even I am reminded, Mr. Singh would vouch for me, that you know, they say always the taste of the pudding lies in its eating. We used to impart skills at our corporation, and various industry members used to come and pick up our students in advance and absorb them. So we had 100%, almost 100% placement. It happened only because they were relevant. They were relevant, they were well trained and on the right skill sets. That is why the industry used to take them. So once this is done, and in our country, when the opportunities are all there, opportunities, defense, railways, space, health, electronics, you name a sector which is going to be brimming with activity in the times to come. So I would conclude by saying that while there is lot to be done, lot more to be done, the initiatives which have already been taken, which Mr. Singh also mentioned, the National Skill Development Corporation, the initiatives taken by the various central governments, even the sector skill councils, the NSQF, all those things are very much there. But there is still lot more things to be done. And it is only if we put ourselves in the right space, with the right skill sets, and connect with the right industry, it's a win-win situation for all. So before I conclude, I'll just like to say the role of the government, the role of the private sector, that is the industry, the role of the skill training providers, and the society. And when I say the society, I include the parents for that. It cannot be overemphasized as it is mandated to imparting the necessary skills to the workforce. I'm sure even the participants from the countries abroad would definitely be facing almost a similar sort of a situation. Some might be better than us, some might be equal to us, some might like to imitate and emulate us, India, with the type of schemes and the type of policies which are being implemented, the type of synergies which are being built by the skill training centers, by the academics, institutions, and the industry. And even today, when we have all these pressing demands, we have a lot of infrastructure which is already there. It's like we talk about ITIs. They were set up, and I was remembering Mr. Singh when he was saying that the skill gaps are not something of new. They were always there. And that is why, if you look back, the government had taken so much of initiatives to set up all these things. National Skill Development Corporation is a recent development. But if we look back, the ITIs were a thing of the past, but the agenda was almost the same. Train people, upskill them, give them the right skill sets so that they are relevant for the society and for the industry. Dr. Saab, I believe it has been a very relevant discussions and great inputs coming from both Mr. Singh as well as Mr. Anil Chaudhry. I'm sure the participants within our country would have been immensely benefited, but also the participants abroad would definitely like, because whenever we used to travel to Africa, we used to always say that let us not reinvent the wheel, let us share our experiences. And this is what is needed today. And even when during my journeys as CMD of NSIC, I distinctly remember even developed countries, even countries like Malaysia, South Korea, Russia, even they looked up to Indian MSMEs because they believed we carry the right potential. We carry the potential for the growth, which can be joint, which can be mutual. And I'm sure once this happens, the young workforce in both the countries shall be benefited. So thank you very much, sir, for giving us this session where we can share our experiences. So it's over to you, Dr. Sharma.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So very kind of you for conducting the whole session so beautifully. There was so much to learn from you, from Satvinder ji, from Anil ji. It was wonderful. One key word which you have used at the end, I will take that because rest of the things is perfectly fine. Synergy. When you use a word called synergy, right from the Red Fort on the 15th of August, the Honorable Prime Minister made a mention that in infrastructure development also, which you recapitulated just now, he made a mention all the stakeholders should know what exactly others are doing so that there is a synergy. Synergy is so important. And when you're talking about skilling, upskilling, reskilling, continuous skilling, we all will keep learning till end. And over here, the schools, colleges, ITIs, polytechnics, institution, universities should not develop the curriculum in isolation. There should not be a different compartment that you can't change even a comma or a full stop without the permission of a professor, because ultimately that product which is coming out of the colleges, institution and universities is to be absorbed by the industry. So why not industry should be a partner right from the beginning in the curriculum itself, and let's involve them. And they should, the Honorable Prime Minister has given a beautiful vision in the new education policy that children will be now going for 10 days as a part of the curriculum, as a part of the syllabi, and everything is coming in terms of internship, vocational skills, competencies. That is something marvelous. And somebody rightly said the other day from Middle East, one is policy formulation, second stage is policy implementation, and the third part is who is going to see the day-to-day operation. Because these three things, when you're talking about in synergy, it's very important for all of us. My deepest regards and great salutation and heartiest congratulations and best wishes to Satvinder ji in the new avatar, in the new responsibility as a managing director, Sector 27 of Chandigarh, plot number 1, beautiful city, green city, neat city, clean city. And Chaudhry Saab, there's so much to pick up from you in the robos. And next time, I'm going to make a request to you, because recently one gentleman had come. There's so much, sir, because as I learn from all of you, as I pick up from all of you each day, and I'm a very humble student, what I wish to, there are a lot of requests which have come in the Facebook. They say, when we are talking about robots, when we are talking about technology, we should show more visuals. And whenever you get time, I would request you, kindly go on the YouTube channel, Dr. Gulshan Sharma's YouTube channel. There is a young boy who has just returned from America, and he belongs to Ludhiana, and he has set up his factory at Manesar, and he is producing robos. And the guy in the robotic, he ran 45-minute presentation and only visuals and visuals and visuals, because when you show the visuals, people can perceive it much better and deeper, because what eyes can see, the mind perceives faster. So I would make a humble request, sir, that might be that we have to get Chaudhry Saab once again in future sometime, and when we have to show more visuals and more practical part of it also. And at the same time, all my brothers and sisters, those are watching this particular program, and I do not know, why do you feel shy to come on a webinar and log in? Nobody is going to ask your age. Nobody is going to ask your experience. Nobody is going to ask your designation. Nobody is going to cut your marks. You prefer to come on a Facebook. You plan to put everything on Facebook, on chat box, but you don't want to come in the webinar. I would make a humble request, a very pleading request. Please come on the webinar also. The day I have got a program of the Middle East, I get 1,000 people, they log in from there. They don't come on the Facebook, they come over here. People from Northeast, yes, I understand. People, those are from Northeast part of India, they have got great challenges to log in because bandwidth is not there. They don't get the proper Wi-Fi and all. And they always tell me, sir, we are very happy to come on the Facebook and chat parties and everything and all that. So with these words, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to extend my deepest gratitude and thanks to the entire Golden Triangle which came this evening under the leadership of Shri Ravindra Nath ji. Let's take this journey, and let me tell you, sir, making education relevant when we are talking about this series, the micro, small and medium enterprise is ultimately going to take this in the real direction, realistic direction, focused direction, and children are looking forward to what do I have for me in storage in future. There is somebody who has posted about 10, 12 questions over here. Arun Nayak Sahab, he told what is to be done for the hospitality students, what is to be done with them. And I just, in my own way, in a very polite way, mentioned to him, there is no difference between now hospitality and hospital. So your hospitality people should now shift to, because it's a customer service. It's a guest management. If you go to a five-star hospital, you will have the five-star services, and it is as good as going to a hotel. You have got a separate room, you have got a proper organic food, you have got neat hygiene, cleanliness. Except doctor and nurses, everything is of the hospitality as far as five-star or superstar hospitals are concerned. So all my hospitality children, those are facing difficulty at this point of time, get into wellness. And again, I would like to request you, wellness industry will grow more than the health sector. People do not want to undergo a surgery. They want to recover in a natural process. So thereby, particularly in robotics, when Chaudhry Sahab has come today, kindly build certain equipments where people can do exercise right in the residence itself, and while sitting and doing the webinar itself, and they can hold something, it will become a norm. It will become a norm. Like we started putting tie with the shirt, maybe after some time putting a mask on the face will come with shirt. Like a tie, it will come with shirt in the same color. So what I'm requesting is, we got to change with the time. And today, whatever is being imparted in the education, whether it will hold relevance by the time these children will pass or not. So thereby, ladies and gentlemen, if at the age of 70, if I am a student, I am a humble student, and I'm a very polite student, I want to learn from everybody, you should also open up your mind. This is the best time. Study, read, learn, skill, reskill, upskill, whatever we can do. That is the mantra which Golden Triangle has given. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, all the dignitaries. Wonderful to have all of you. Look forward to next Sunday, powerful Sunday, meaningful Sunday, because whatever we discuss in education Monday to Friday, Saturday we go on the wellness, Sunday is the most important, micro, small and medium enterprise together being taken. With these words, signing off, great regards, gratitude.
Thank you, sir.
And thanks to all of you. And sir, you will bring the change in the entire system with your new team, with your new members. Thank you very much. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.